Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be answering your questions, going through, helping you guys out. I know a lot of people are making ski purchases right now, so I'm just going to try to help you guys as much as I can. I wouldn't have a channel without you, so this is my way of giving back. I will say I do try to prioritize channel members, so if you have a burning question that you really want answered, I would consider the membership. I have it tiered as cheaply as I can, but it just helps kind of filter it out because as winter ramps up, I get busier and busier and it's harder to address every single question. So please, if you have something you really want to know, become a member, email me, put member in the title of your email, and I will try to reply or answer it in video. So, you know, just a heads up for you guys. But without further ado, let's jump into this question, and any skis that I recommend, I will of course have links down below. In my recent video this week, I talked about how there are tremendous ski deals. I mean, we're talking bent 110s for $325. We're talking Salomon QST 98s for $325. We're talking just insane prices, so I'll have those linked down below. But let's go to your comments. Grant2707 says, bent 120 versus 110 in Utah. Give me your thoughts. Big fan, by the way. Grant, thanks so much for being a fan and watching. I really appreciate it. So bent 110 versus 120. Here's the problem with that question. I am unable to review the bent 120. My local shop that demos all the atomic stuff, and they're great, like they've been getting stuff early, so I was able to review the 2025s at the end of last season. The problem is they don't carry the bent 120. They also don't carry the bent 90 for the demo. I mean, like they sell them, but you can't demo them. I also can't try the Maverick 115 CTI because they don't carry that. So I am left kind of in a lurch. I cannot review those skis, so I can't safely recommend them. I have reached out to Atomic saying, hey, can you guys help me out? Can you send me some skis? Can you do anything? Because I feature Atomic skis a lot. I personally have bought a couple of pairs now. I love them. They're like my ski of the year. In both categories, they have one ski in there, but unfortunately, they just have been unwilling to reply to my emails. I used to have a rep that I worked with who was great. I don't know if maybe he's unable to do anything, but for right now, I am totally out in no man's land with Atomic. I have no way of reviewing those skis and no way of recommending them to you. That all being said, I will say, Utah, it depends where in Utah you are. I'm in Idaho, which is pretty similar, so I'm just gonna try to answer the best I can. I know we don't get quite as much snow as you guys, but on a good powder day, like when we get those spring storms, it's not too different. I don't love skis that are 120 and wider. They kind of hurt my hips. Or even like 116 and wider, I don't really love. I skied the Salomon QST 106 and the QST blank, and I liked the QST 106 because it didn't hurt my hips as much. It didn't take as much work to go edge to edge. I felt kind of that QST shape more. Now, hard to say if that's actually the case for the bent 120. I love the bent 110. I think it's phenomenal. So I can highly recommend it. Also, right now you can get it for $325. And actually, you can get the 120, for $399, which is also a good deal. I wish I could give you a recommendation. The other thing too is that I know that they changed it for 2025 where the bent 100 and the bent 120 got stiffer wood, so I would be cautious recommending the 2024 for the bent 120 because I really didn't like the old bent 100 and I feel like they really fixed it with 2025. So I don't know, I can't give you an honest answer. I don't know, I wish I could. Atomic, if you're watching this, just work with me. I want to review your guys' skis thoroughly. I love the majority of the skis that I've skied on with Atomic. But Grant, I can't in good conscience recommend that ski. I can easily recommend the 110. I think for most times, it's gonna be plenty of ski for you, but you gotta go with your gut there. I do not know, and I don't know, I'm gonna tell you guys when I don't know. This is the thing too. I'm not a ski shop, so I don't care if you buy skis. Other people be like, yeah, bent 120 will be fine, go for it, it's cheap. And I don't care about that. I care about you guys getting skis you like, buying a ski that does a good job, not having to buy a bunch of skis because you got misled. I'm gonna tell you when I know stuff and when I don't. And in this case, I'm a little out of my depth, but I can in good conscience say the bent 110 rips. It's a great value. I think I can't imagine more than 5% of days where you would even want anything wider, but you know, that's my whole honest answer. Thank you so much for writing. Sorry, it's a little bit of an incomplete answer. Ryan Napski says, don't buy ski boots online. Go see reputable boot fitter. There are for sure some killer deals out there right now on skis. Yes, but I think for some people, Ryan, if you have already had that ski boot, you know it works, and you're just rebuying a ski boot, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying online. I mean, a lot of times it's significantly cheaper. For some of these boots, it's like half the price. I get wanting to support local businesses, and I personally would like to support my local businesses more. However, they don't make it easy. You need like an appointment to get in a boot fitter. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to try the boots or like make sure they fit the same as last year's. I don't know. I get it, but also skiing's so expensive as it is. You can't get mad at someone for wanting $300 cheaper ski boots just for last year's colors. Now that being said, if you go in and get your foot fitted for a ski boot and you spend like 4 or 5 hours in someone's shop and then you go buy an online ski boot, that's pretty crappy. Like, just buy it there, look at pricing ahead of time, but don't waste their time and then go spend your money somewhere else. That stinks. What I do personally is I have enough experience working as a boot fitter myself. I will just go in and just ask to look at the inventory so I'm not wasting anyone's time, so I'm not like taking up space, or I'm not pulling away from paying customers. And you know, I'll just make sure that it fits the same, or hey, I want to see what K2 has, a lot of times for content for you guys just so I can talk about it. But I really try to be sensitive not to waste their time, because I've worked in those shops and it is frustrating to spend 4 hours with someone just for them to go buy it elsewhere. That is really crappy. Don't go do that. I don't recommend that at all. If you're gonna go and get properly fit, go in the late summer so you're paying less anyway. Look at the prices before you start getting fitted to make sure that they're gonna line up, and then use their time and use their expertise to get a proper fit. Because as I always say, properly fitting ski boots is the most important piece of equipment you can have, other than maybe like helmet and binding safety stuff. But proper fitting boots is key. That's a great point, Ryan, but you know, like I said, if you, like I have the Atomic Hawx Prime 120, it's the same boot as it was a year ago, it's the same boot as it was 2 years ago. I've had no issue buying online. So that's my hot take. Same with like laying. I've had like layings where I bought them online, and a lot of these places have pretty good return policies if something's a little bit off, but your mileage may vary. But the core of what you're saying is absolutely correct. All right, Maltery-Din6454 says, do you got any tips for touring ski with great downhill performance that could add some weight but does not matter so much? Looking for ski around 100 millimeters wide, around 172 to 174 centimeters. Nice video. Yeah, I would check out the Atomic Backland 102. I think that's the right width. I always mix up their widths on that. But I believe, yeah, it's the Backland 102 that I reviewed this past year. I thought it did great in the powder. It was very light. It was very forgiving on your line. It is a lighter ski, so you're gonna lose some performance in heavier wet snow, so just keep that in mind. I know other people who actually use the Atomic Bent 100. I don't think that's a bad option at all. I think you could do that pretty safely. It is a little bit heavier, so keep that in mind, but I think it carves well. It has the Horizon Tech for the powder, so yeah, I think that's those are two really good suggestions. You could also do the Headcore 105. I bet those would be pretty fun. I'm not a big backcountry skier, so keep that in mind, but those are the first ones that come to mind. I really, for a backcountry ski, one of my favorite skis for backcountry skis was the Black Crow's Draco Freebird. That's a 110, so maybe a little bit wider than you're looking for, but I could not believe how smoothly it carved, how well it did off trail, how light it was. I think that ski is just phenomenal. So those are a few good suggestions for you. What I would do is like pick what you prioritize in a ski yourself and then go watch those 3 reviews. Thank you for the comment. All right, Drew Kaysen 2821 says, as a novice Midwest skier, I'm not positive what I should be looking for in a ski. I got back into skiing last season and started skiing every weekend with my young kids. I am really looking forward to the season and would like to update my skis that are 15 years old. Oh my gosh, yes, they've changed a lot since then. I would classify myself as an intermediate skier, but I've always just used whatever ski was available. 95% of my skiing will be at a local hill outside of Twin Cities. Although I love watching big mountain powder videos and would love to start doing annual Western trips in the future, it's just not what I currently have access to. So with that in mind, what is the type of ski I should be looking at. I feel like all mountain skis might be too general for someone that doesn't ski mountains. Is there such a thing as a Midwest quiver? Or is there a best Midwest ski? Thanks for your content. So first off, Drew, I'm just gonna say that I am not a Midwest skier. I have no background in Midwest skiing. I do not understand Midwest skiing that well. So I will attempt to answer the question, but like a big grain of salt that I'm, again, a little outside of my depths there. I did ski race with a bunch of Midwest skiers in college, so based on what they've told me, I'm gonna try to give you an educated guess, but you know, be mindful that I'm really just trying to give you an educated guess here. What I would suggest that you prioritize when you look at skis, if you're skiing with kids and you're skiing in the Midwest, all mountain skis are fine. And actually all mountain skis have come a tremendous way with how well they carve and how well they go off trail. So there's some really good options there. So don't be afraid of all mountain. You know, Midwest mountains count too. What I would say is prioritize, or maybe just look at some skis with a shorter turn radius, something like a Volcom Kendo 88, which is now the Volcom Mantra 88, where it can be flexible on its turn radius. I ski with my kids, and you know, when they do kind of the smaller trails, you don't have as much room. Sometimes with those smaller mountains, having a smaller turn radius allows you to have a lot of fun, especially when you're skiing with kids. My honest recommendation would be the Black Crow's Octo. I think that short turn radius, it would still do fine if you went out west. You know, it's not gonna be great on like a giant powder day at Snowbird, but for like the majority of Western mountains, you take that somewhere like Sun Valley, you take that somewhere out in Idaho, McCall, you take that to a lot of like the ski areas in Utah, when, you know, like Deer Valley, I bet that'd be fun. It'll handle itself well, but it'll give you the short turn radius fun turns when you're in the Midwest. So I would look at that. Just look at some shorter turn radius skis, maybe a Black Crow's Muris Core if you're into kind of freestyle and twin tip skis. But I think the Octo would be perfect for that. Yeah, or something like the Mantra 88 where it has a flexible turn radius and you can shorten up your turns when you need to and then open it up and let it cruise. But skis have made tremendous progress since 15 years ago, so I think you're going to be really amazed with just how good skis are now. I have said this before and I'll say it again, we are in the golden era of skis, and I think you will just be pleased as peaches. Another good option, when you do start doing those trips, look at something like a Salomon QST 98 that you can throw in the bag. Look at something like an Atomic Maverick. But for what you're doing now, I think the Black Crow's Octo would be my first pick if I was out visiting. So I hope that helped. Thank you so much for your question. All right, and Axel Hike 7893 says, hey, I've been binge watching your videos for the past few days. Really like your honesty, not going with the flow of every other ski reviewer. I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, a lot of other ski reviewers are also ski shops, which I've been learning. Like the more I dig, the more I find that a lot of the content out there is people directly selling skis. That's fine. I just have noticed it, and I'm glad you guys are liking this content, because the more I dig, the more I find, I guess. Anyway, it was getting hard to make a choice when everyone says the same stuff and doesn't offer critical commentary on their skis. Could I ask for some quick comments to help me choose between the QST 98 and Core 93? I'm in Europe and I'm looking forward to a bunch of fresh snow, but still most of my time is spent on piste. I am 180 centimeters, 80 to 85 kilograms, so around 6 foot, 170, 180, I think. Intermediate to advanced. Trying to get good carving performance for the ski category. I understand the sacrifice it makes. The core sounds really promising, but it being so lightweight makes me question it. Not from personal experience, but people bring it up as a possible issue. I've mainly skied race skis before, but I'm excited to venture out. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I would say just pick what your priority is. Is your priority to get better at off-piste skiing and going in the woods? Then go with the QST 92. It floats above what you would expect for that width. It's still really comfortable, but it's not the most accurate ski. It doesn't go exactly where you want. It's more of a kind of surfy ski. The Core 93, on the other hand, if you're prioritizing carving, I think that's where it's at. It's pinpoint, it's really on demand, it's a really good all-around ski, but its performance off-trail isn't quite where the QST 92 is. Now that being said, these are both excellent options, so you could literally toss a coin and you'd be happy either way. But I think if your priority is carving, go with the Core 93. Your concerns with it being lightweight, I'm a very heavy skier. I am around the same height and weigh around 230 pounds, and I've had no issue. The Core 87 was a little too light for me, but the Core 93, I had no issues with it being too light for me. So I wouldn't worry about that. I can say really confidently that if you like carving, but you want an all-around good ski, the Head Core 93 is an excellent option. I have a question for you now. I've given recommendations to people, and I'll say, hey, if you want to use the affiliate link, but then they say, well, I'm in Europe and I don't want to pay the importing fees. Are there any good European retailers that you would recommend that maybe I could see if I can get an affiliate link for? I don't know. It's a portion of my audience, but I'd love to know if there's some kind of tool I can give you guys to help people watching in Europe purchase skis, at least if they're interested in that. So let me know. That's my question back to you. But yeah, I can safely say you'd like the Core 93s. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. I will have links down below to all the skis I talked about today. So if you're gonna buy something, please consider using those. But as always, just thanks for taking the time. We also have memberships down below if you'd like your comment prioritized. But as always, just more than anything, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. It means a ton to me. Like and subscribe if you want to support us without spending any money. But as always, more than anything, just thank you for taking the time out of your day. It means a ton to me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.